the RSI Perseus. RSI's latest gunship, gunboat. Not really sure what this one is, but it sure is incredible. So, here we are. I thought, why show you the exterior of the Perseus in a hangar, or in space, when I can show you in all its glory the IAE Expo Hall. This is only going to be around for around a day or two, so if I publish this fast enough, come and take a look around this place. The RSI Focus is honestly one of my favorites, but like I said, I'm not here to chit chat, I'm here to show you the ship. Let's go around the exterior, and then I'll pull it out to space so I can get a few more frames out of this recording. God, this patch has been a bit laggy for me, but you know, quickly get in there. So, as you can see, it is quite the large ship where we have some PDCs on the underside here, as well as the cargo bay, which, as I'm aware, has been upscaled since I last saw it. Coming around here, you can see what I think is a thruster. Yeah, more thrusters. But a remote turret, or I think those may be pilot guns. I don't know much about the stats of this thing, like I said. The landing gear, it's very beautiful. I love it. And mirrored on both sides, there is a docking collar. Got this sleek arrowhead-esque design at the front, I very like, with some range. Those are not weapons or missiles, I don't really know what that is, but we've got another PDC. This is mirrored on the other side, as well as the PDC over there, you can see, which was the same as before. Moving back, we've got more thrusters along the side. There is the docking collar, which looks amazing in my opinion. We'll extend it out like that. Coming back, we've got the rear landing gear, which I think is beautiful. Very nice. I do love how the landing gear look in this ship. And we've got that Perseus design logo, whatever, all over it, you know? We've got a rear PDC as well. The RSI logo printed on the back here. And these huge engines that this hall isn't even big enough for me to show off. It's a very nice bum. Very nice bum. I personally will not be pledging this ship. If you want to know what I'm pledging, it will be the RSI Galaxy. Don't judge. Don't judge me on that. I just like the ship a bit better. So, here we are on the left-hand side of the Perseus, and we're going to make our way in through the left-hand side docking collar. You can see it's extended out right now, and I'm going to make sure I show you all the animations and all the sound effects for this ship. So, I'm going to make sure I turn that game audio up right now. Alright, now that we've got that game audio up for you guys, let's close up the docking collar. Very nice, very nice. And let's open the door to the cargo hold. The door button is over here on the right hand side when facing in. That seals up nicely, and that is mirrored on the right hand side of the Perseus. We're going to start with the back of the ship, make our way forward, make our way up, and then end up in the bridge at the end of this tour. We make our way in here where we have our ladder access and some relays, the little door we can open. Turning around behind us, opposite the ladder, is our component access. This is where our, I believe, size 3 battery would go once it is implemented. Moving up a little bit, we have a main elevator adjacent to the ladder, and opposite that is our gravity generator, which is not in the game yet. Moving up the stairs and into the back through our automatic door. That's very nice. We have the rear turret. These are the size 8 guns, I believe. So let's get in, and I will be quiet so you can hear all the audio and some ambient audio, which I do love. I'll be quiet so you can see all the animations and listen to all the sound effects. And here we are in our turret. The ship currently has no power. See if I...
Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
Beautiful sound design on these turrets. Love the mechanical sounds of it. Let's hear those giant RSI Medusa cannons firing. That does it for the turret. We do obviously have some little size 3 Gatlings on the bottom. Not many people care about that. Right, backing out of the turret, be quiet so you can hear it again. Isn't it beautiful? Such well-designed ship. Right, we're gonna go up the elevator ladder, making our way back into cargo hold. You can see there is an upstairs area, which we will get to later. Some fire extinguishers that we'll be able to grab when engineering comes out next patch at the time of uploading this. Here, on the left and right sides, we have torpedo loading. You can walk in here and obviously use your tractor beam to pull out and reload new... I think I'd have to unlock the ship ports to show that, sadly. But yes, you can place torpedoes in these here, in these slots here, and when they are fired out of here, they will be reloaded automatically. Very nice. So technically, you could have up to 40 torpedoes if you think about it. Or am I doing the math wrong? Who knows? But yes, this is mirrored on either side for all of those size 5 torpedoes. You see now down here is our personal elevator to get in and out of the ship while it's on the ground. See? Just brings us out right beneath the ship, perfectly onto the ground. Coming back up into the ship, we'll quickly lower that cargo elevator so you can get a sense of what it's like by this switch right here, mirrored on both sides, on the left side of each docking port. Absolutely wonderful sound design. The holograms that they've kind of taken from the hangars when you call up and down your ships, I love it. The siren going off. Oh, let's hear that one more time coming back up. Way it sits flush with the floor when it unfolds to go down. Mwah. I love it. So, we're going to now make our way and open up that ladder and that elevator that we saw previously. here is the ladder shaft, which goes all the way up to your upper deck. But for now, we are going to go to the main deck via the elevator. Main deck, please. Not a very far elevator trip, but it's nice. Right, like I said, from the back to the front, and then next level. Moving here, another fire extinguisher, I was about to say hydrant. And on the right we have the mess hall, and on the left is our crew quarters. We'll come back to that. First we're going to go into the engineering room, where we have our coolers, quantum drive, some more relays, some power plants, I was going to say generators, our radar, shields, avionics, which obviously avionics hasn't been added. Radar is technically added, but it doesn't work very well. And the giant shields. Quite massive, if I do say so myself. This is our life support generator. Very important for when engineering comes out. Here is the engineering terminal. There is, I believe, no interactability in this room apart from the terminal itself. So let us move on. Moving to the mess hall on the left-hand side of the engineering room. Coming out, we have got some shelves as we enter, with a button which allows us to open them. Clean, smooth, I like it. Here we've got a food preparation station. RS is pretty standard on these giant RSI ships. And we've got some windows out into the hallway, if you saw them earlier when I was passing by. Some little screens for the crew to look at while they're eating. Some benches, and a nice pool table, along with some greenery, which I feel like these RSI ships are missing most of the time. Something other than the blue and white and black. Nice. Green. And obviously the main eating table, where you'd be eating with all your fellow crewmates. Moving to the opposite side, into the crew quarters, we can see it is stacked head to toe in bunk beds. Very spacious in comparison to the first ship I reviewed on this channel, the Zeus. And they each have their own little storage locker by each side with 150 micro SCUs. No, that's mine. With 1,200 micro SCUs of storage, a little bench here, and the standard RSI toilet with functioning mirror. Ooh. Let's turn around. We've got our deployable toilet, and toilet roll, of course. The first aid cabinet. And that about does it for the bathroom. Now, something this ship didn't have in its original concept was a armory. But, in the official release of this, it has been given one, with tons and tons of space for weapons, and suit lockers galore. Obviously, suit lockers don't have a purpose yet, but I'm sure they will do in the future. Let us move out of the crew quarters and back into the main deck, making sure to close doors behind us because we're polite around here. You can see lovely detailing along all the panels, and you can see these wiring going above overhead, adding some red into the mix, mixing up the colors. And here we have some escape pods. This lever is how you'd open it, I'm assuming, or maybe launch it. I'm not sure, but there is one either side. They have no use yet, but I hope they do one day. Coming over here, we have some paneling and another fire extinguisher. I believe is not mirrored on the other side, since there is a ladder here and some kind of maintenance access. Walking along the top, we can see that we have got a very nice terminal here to control the basketball hoop. I see. I didn't know that was in this ship. That is awesome. That definitely just gives this thing a cool rating immediately. But there is a button here which allows you to operate the main lift. Sorry I pressed it, I just had to hear it one more time. And this is obviously all mirrored on the other side, allowing you to deploy another basketball hoop and put down the cargo elevator. Very nice, I appreciate it. Here we have some component access, our second power plant we've seen, and some relays. Like I said, making sure to close these up as we're polite. On the other side, we have some more relays and access to another cooler. And only one fuse by standard. Moving on, we have escape pods 1 and 2, still serving no function, very sadly. And here is one of my favorite rooms in the entire ship, is the torpedo control room, I believe it's called. Because here you get the torpedo console. We can put our hands together, stand up on this console, power our system on, and enter the remote turret. And now we get full access to these torpedoes if the ship has power. It doesn't right now. I will come back and show you this after we've turned the ship's power on. But moving on from there, we get some more component access on the left and right sides. Currently, all it has is shields and another battery. Now, the final part of the main deck is obviously that big main front nose turret that this thing is known for. So let's take a seat. And here we are.
Space industries. Enjoy the ride.
Not going to bother turning it on, but obviously got our turrets. They move around all together. Very nice, very clean. I do love these big guns. And we're gonna make our way all the way around, up a little bit, back to our elevator access. And we're going to go to the final deck on this tour, the upper deck. Here we have 4 more emergency escape pods, and at the very back we have the captain's quarters. This door is lockable and you can turn the lights off if you want to be all moody and very nice. I like it. I'd like to turn it back on for the sake of the tour. And the fun feature I like about all of this is that this door is completely controllable from this button right here at the captain's desk. And obviously it's lockable, as well as a security camera showing you everything that's going on outside there, as well as a suit locker, a little bench, a bed, and a gun locker. Here is the captain's bathroom, which does have a mirror to look at my horrific face, and the classic fold-out toilet, but with no fold-out toilet paper this time. How sad. Obviously this is a wet room with the shower overhead and drains at your feet. Now, time to get to the main source of this ship. If it didn't exist, well, you wouldn't be able to do anything. I'm also, forgetting about this, by the way. Over here on the left, you have direct access to what I want to say, little balcony on the edge of your ship. Only works in atmosphere. As you can see, I'm currently, in EVA. But that is a very nice little door to have. And that door animation, absolutely beautiful. But here, the door to the bridge. Step up, here we are. To the left, we have a little button here, which gives us access to a weapon locker. And on the right, we have some relay access and another fire extinguisher. But we know what you're all here for. The audio. Maybe that's just me. Maybe it's just me. I don't know. But let's sit down and I'll shut up and I'll turn the ship on and then I'll power up those engines. Right, here we go.
Welcome to Robert Space Industries. Enjoy the ride. System check.
Very nice. That's a really cool startup sound. The engines aren't even on yet, by the way, if you thought that was the engines. And we get some little Vipers, I think they're called. The Mantis. Ah yes, the Mantis Gatling guns is what the pilot gets. But let's give that engine a fire up, shall we?
Engines.
Very nice. And obviously we'll do a quick 360 of the ship. And if you're unaware, all those little fins and wings which may clip stuff, they completely get retracted when you put down the landing gear. Which I find absolutely beautiful for quality of life reasons. Let's hear those engines roar, shall we? Let's do it in first person first, and then in third person. See what other people are hearing over them. Right, here we go. And let's come to a stop. Slow it down. Right. Third person. In about 3, 2, 1. And let's hear those engines shut down, and then we'll wrap up. I don't think I even need to use the cool meter for this one. I think you guys already know the answer. Let's shut those engines down.
Engines are off.
And shut the system down.
System off.
Because they gave the engines and the systems the same audio. So, let's get to the review, shall we? That was the Perseus. I hope you enjoyed looking around it just as much as I did. I think this ship, it just wins. Overall. Looking at the other ships in the game, I don't think any other ship has a basketball hoop in its cargo bay, unless you make one out of, like, random props. So, I think this ship wins, overall. 10 out of 10 on the cool factor. I mean, even the cargo lift would get this thing 10 out of 10. Like, if it was just a box with this cargo lift, I'd still give it a 10 out of 10 super cool. But yeah, the ship wins. Thank you for watching. If you care about the stats, go away. Because, I mean, that's... who cares?